Hello, welcome to Geeking Out with Shad. I haven't made a video in a little while. I do have some personal, like, family stuff going on, so that kind of is more important than making YouTube videos. But I did just drive up to my property with a bike on the back. It's not my first time. I tried doing a video on this before, but either way, the results are almost identical and way more impressive than I expected them to be, believe it or not. So I just drove up here, 132 miles, I believe is what it said. I charged up to 80% because I know I don't have to go to 100% to drive up here. And I'm quite surprised at how well the car did. As you can see, I do have the rack on. So one of the things I was waiting for, it took about a month for the dealership to make the appointment and get the part so I can put my hitch on the back. So there is, of course there's sticks in there, but there's a hitch on here now. So I can have my bike rack on the back and my bike here. So I like my bike on the back. Oh, I just walked by my car, so it unlocked. If we come to the front of the car and look, that tire just barely hangs out. And then of course, if you look at the roof line, the bike doesn't go above the roof line and then over here. So this is why I like the bike on the back, is because it is way more aerodynamic. It isn't going to affect the range of the car very much. I honestly, even with a gas-powered car, I get that people want roof racks for more space, whatever. I don't understand it, because every experience I've had with a roof rack just, well, in an EV will just kill your range. And a gas-powered car kills your fuel economy. So I'm not a fan of roof racks, so that's why I got the rear rack. This particular rack I can fit 2 bikes on, so I could comfortably have 2 people, or me who has multiple bikes, bring 2 bikes with me, whatever. Okay, so that enough about the rack, but I did want to talk about it because I drove up here with the bike on the back. Let's go inside and look at the numbers. So I just turned on the car. Here we go. Here are numbers. I must have been looking at this because it's already up. So 132.4 miles. My average miles per kilowatt hour is 3.5 driving on the highway, which is pretty good. That's how much time I was driving for, and so on and so forth. So I was at 80% charge, and what's pretty wild is I have 31% left. So that means if I was at 100% charge, I would have 51% left, which is pretty wild. I guess I didn't expect that it would be that good. Says 86 miles remaining. I just, for some reason, this thing seems to be all over the place. I don't trust the way that it guesses. I wish they would improve this, because I think for some people, they kind of rely on that. I don't, because I've been driving an EV enough, so I know these other numbers are more important. And the most important number, it's always down here on the screen, but it's also there. The 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour gives me an idea of the efficiency of the car, the current efficiency of it since the last charge. And then I can just kind of, because I've been doing this long enough, calculate in my head almost how much I have to play with. If you look over here, you'll see that I've already got 2,346 miles on this car. There's a reason for that. I've had it for maybe a month and a half, and I was actually, part of this family stuff is I took a trip to Boston for a week, so the car didn't even get driven for a week. So I've been driving it a lot and coming up here a lot, because I no longer have my Tacoma. I used to have a Toyota Tacoma. I do not have that anymore, because I decided I'm going to go all in on having an EV and not have a backup vehicle, internal combustion engine vehicle. I love it, and it's, for some reason, when you don't have to go to gas stations, it's really nice. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I will talk about charging experience I just recently had, because that's not perfect. So when I say I'm glad I don't go to gas stations and so on and so forth. Doesn't mean that the EV charging stuff is great yet. It's getting there. It's getting better, but I'll talk about that in another video. Otherwise, this one will get too long. But I really enjoy driving this car. Um, the acceleration is really good, like ridiculously really good, and it comes in handy sometimes. So like on my drive up here, I'm gonna turn and merge onto the freeway, and you don't really have an on-ramp. You gotta basically cross the first lane, go in the opposite direction, and then I wanted to take a left on the direction that I wanted to go. So there's a center median, so I can go sit in the middle. And with most cars that I've ever owned, especially gas-powered cars, I have to wait until there's a pretty good gap, because these cars are coming at me at 70 miles per hour or more, right? So I have to wait and be like, okay, I need to be able to accelerate and get up to speed. With this car, I don't need that big of a gap. It's ridiculous. And I'll see a gap, I'll hammer on it, mat the accelerator, and I feel like this is how it works. A car that just goes past, I'm able to turn and basically catch up to that car really quickly and match speed with it within just a few seconds. It's pretty awesome. And because of that, I don't even affect the next group of cars or car coming on the highway, because I'm sure they're seeing me pull out, and if, when they're everyday car or pickup truck or whatever, they're pretty slow. They're probably like thinking they're going to have to slow down, but then they realize, oh no, they don't even have to slow down, because I can get up to speed that quickly. So pretty cool. I love that aspect about this car, and it's smooth and it just drives nice. It's precise. There's so many good things about the driving quality of this car that I can't even touch on them all compared to driving an ICE vehicle. The only ICE vehicles I've ever driven that are like as nice and to drive as this car are really expensive, high-end internal combustion engine cars that have lots of power, and they're loud and so on and so forth. So but pretty much everything else doesn't even compare to this car, especially ICE cars in this price range. Absolutely not. They're not even close to being as nice to drive or as quick as this car. So that's pretty much it. I'm really impressed with this fuel economy. I knew I was going to say something like that. The range, the economy, the efficiency is the key word of this car. 3.5 miles per kilowatt hour driving up here. Awesome. Super impressive. Some of you are going to ask, okay, so 73 degrees, so it was 71 when I started, 73 now. It's going to get hot today though. And then speeds, I'd say my average speed was probably 69, 70 miles per hour, just so you can compare that to doing a trip where you're having to go 75 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. You start going those speeds, not only in an ICE car, you're going to drop your fuel economy quite a bit, quite significantly. In an EV, you're going to drop your range quite a bit. So there you have it. I really appreciate your support for my channel. I'll try to get more videos out more frequently. Peace.